Hey YouTube, it's Elise. I'm finally back. It's almost the end of senior year and I'm so happy so I can actually give more content to you guys. But this video is titled My Favorite Netflix Shows That I Watch. Alright, so my first show is of course Stranger Things. And everybody that knows the Stranger Things plot should know that there's a little boy named Will that end up trapped in this place called the Upside Down, and then these kids that are friends with Will meet this girl named Eleven, and you know how the story goes. I just really like how they spun that whole thing about it's being in the 80s and how I guess how different it is. And I'm not a person that really likes sci-fi and all those kinds of movies and shows, but I really like that one and I find it very, very interesting. Alright, so my next show is Dance Academy. And I really, really like Dance Academy because, of course, everybody knows me, I'm a dancer. And I just love how they got this idea of the main character named Tara Webster goes to this school that's very, very prestigious as far as dancing and stuff like that. And she gets into it and she's basically just navigating her way through trying to get better in her classes and meeting friends and meeting guys and stuff like that. But I think that it was a very interesting show for its time, and I really wish that it continued, but at the same time the way they ended it was very, very well, and I just appreciate it so much. Alright, so my next one is The Get Down. And for people who know The Get Down, you must know that it has a lot of music with it, of course. These kids that that are around high school age, they grew up with each other, they know everything about each other. They just navigating their life through the Bronx, and it's placed during the 70s, right when hip-hop was supposed to be developing, and how the people that made the ground for hip-hop, Grandmaster Flash and all that. It was just how they would use scratching records and making beats and basically saying poetry, but in a rhythm base. That's basically what rap is. And they spun it really, really well. I just wish that they continued the series because it's a Netflix original, but I guess that it didn't get enough views, so they couldn't do a third season. But I really liked how it played out. I just really want that the third season though. Is I really miss that show a lot. The next show is pretty new. It's called On My Block, and basically these 4 kids are trying to navigate this thing called high school. And it's the summer before, and they're just okay, well, I have this plan. We're gonna be 4 friends. We're just gonna stick together and stuff like that. But then one of the people in the clan have to be put into this gang because their family is just the family of gang members, and all the concerned friends are just you shouldn't do it, this is not a part of your life and stuff like that. And so they're trying to convince him not to be a part of the gang and also get him out of trouble and make sure that he doesn't end up getting put in the gang. But you should watch the show. The next show is called Alexa and Katie, and it's also a new show. It's about 2 friends who really stick together. And of course it's that cliche starting high school and trying to make new friends and just get the whole high school experience as much as they can. But the only thing is that Alexa was diagnosed with cancer, and so Katie made the brave decision to cut off all of her hair and go through the stuff, the chemo, the chemotherapy, and just basically support for Alexa, just because she knows that she's going through a really, really hard time. And I really think that's really true friendship. You cut off all your hair for your best friend. That's amazing. Okay, so the next one is called Degrassi Next Class. And this particular show has been around for a very, very long time. We've had really, really famous people like Drake that have been on it. And everybody knows that, of course. But I like how they put it on Netflix and put a whole bunch of different characters, and started covering more issues as far as what's happening now in this world. I'm really interested on how they're going to do the next season, because everybody that was in this season, well, in these last 2 seasons, have graduated. So especially with the things that have been going on now, I really wonder how they're going to do it this time. So, yeah. My next favorite show is actually an international show. It's Japanese. It's called Good Morning Call. And it's about this girl and this guy who are from completely different, like, types of, like, social class. Like, she's not really low, but, like, she's kind of, like, not the popular type girl. She's not interested in being all popular, and her name is Now. And Yuhara, which is the guy, of course, he is the one that, like, all the girls like. Everybody, all the girls chase him around. They're like, oh my gosh, I love you, and stuff like that. And he's, like, all mean and stuff like that. He don't want to bother nobody. But they both move into this apartment, and thinking that this apartment is like just theirs, their own individual apartment. But for some reason, the person that sold it to them, like, signed for them to both have the apartment. And when they tried to clear it up, the person who sold it to them, like, mystically disappeared. And so they're trying to keep it on the hush that they're living together without getting everybody in the loop into the business, because there's these 3 girls that are like, now you don't deserve to be around him, he doesn't like you, and stuff like that. But it's weird because, like, he acts like he doesn't like her, but they're, like, pretty cool because he always defends her honor in his own little weird way. But yeah. Alright, so my next show is also an international show, and it's called My Only Love Song. And it's a South Korean show, and it's about this celebrity who is a bit of a narcissist. Like, she literally only thinks that she's the best and she can do anything that she wants to, and she's working on this movie, and the set and, like, the directors and the cast and crew, they're all afraid of her because they're like, okay, what is she gonna do next? What is she gonna say next? She's pretty scary, so, like, we don't want to tick her off. And she's pretty much the person that nobody wants to be around, and she's working on this movie that is a period drama. And if you know anything about, like, those particular cultures, it's like they do dramas like that, where it's like they're in, like, traditional okay, well, they're doing, like, traditional movies with their, you know, traditional, like, clothing and all that stuff. And so she's doing this movie about this story about this soldier who falls in love with this girl, and, like, I guess she's like a queen or something, and then they end up falling in love, and, like, it's all great and wonderful, but then, like, he has to get sent off to war, but he ends up dying. And so she plays as the girl who he falls in love with. But for some reason, she also has this enchanted, like, Volkswagen, like, van-like thing that she gets into when she's, like, going off on one of her tangents, and she's, like, frustrated. She's like, I gotta leave, I just gotta go. And so she gets into the car, and the car just zooms and takes off 1,000 years back, and she's actually in the story and where she meets the soldier. But, like, the thing is that he doesn't fall in love with the girl that he's supposed to fall in love with. He falls in love with her, and so they end up getting together, and, like, she pretends that she doesn't like him, he pretends that he doesn't like her, but then, you know, fate, of course. And so they end up happily together, and I really like that show because it's really funny. So this next show has been my all-time favorite, only because it was a movie before it was a show, and it's also has a total of 13 books with it. But this one is a series of unfortunate events, and I really love this series because I read it all through middle school, and it's one of my favorite series of all time. And of course, if you know about what it's about, it's the Barber Lair children named Violet, Klaus, and Sunny both live with their parents, and it's happy until something happens where it burns down their house and it kills their parents. And they get sent off to an uncle named Count Olaf, and they have to live their lives with him. But Olaf is a very he's a thief, basically, and he's a criminal, and he really only wants to steal their fortune because they're actually really rich kids, because their fortune, well, their parents left them a very great grand fortune. And of course, in the first book, he's trying to steal their fortune, and the person that's over them, like, getting adopted, he's just kind of, like, not getting it. Like, okay, well, yeah, what they're trying to steal, he's trying to steal your fortune. He's like, they're like, yes, like, he's trying to hurt us, he's trying to kill us. And he's like, why would he want your fortune? And so he ends up finding out, and they get sent to another relative, and they get sent to different relatives, and somehow Count Olaf ends up finding him. But I mean, I think it's because they live in the same place, maybe. That's probably why he keeps finding them. But I didn't really, okay, I read the books, but then again, I didn't get too far because I had to eventually go to high school. But I didn't get far enough to the point where what really happened, because something different happened, and like, I mean, I don't want to spoil it because I don't really know, but I'm gonna go see. And I really need to watch it because they just updated their you know, thing for Netflix, because you know Netflix does it by season and not by episode, which sucks, but it's fine. So yeah. The next one is also an international show, and it's a Korean show, and it's called Oh My Ghost. And this one is one of my favorites. Like, okay, I've watched at least like with all of these, I've watched them at least twice through when like I started, you know, watching these shows. But this one I have to go back to every once in a while because it's just one of my favorites. But Oh My Ghost is about this girl who is very, very shy and timid and quiet. It's only because she's very conscious about the fact that she has this power where she can see ghosts. And since she's so scared of them and so timid, she just doesn't want to talk to people, and she's become a very, very, very much of an introvert. And of course, there's this very, very funny and what would you call her? Spunky. Yeah, a spunky ghost that like comes around her and is always just, you know, trying to talk to her. She's like, oh, you can see me? Oh, okay, well, sis, okay, well, let's talk, let's, you know. And then she's like, no, but she's like, let's talk. But somehow this ghost latches onto the timid girl's body, and she for some reason that she can't get out. And so of course, when like speaking like that, if you're like in somebody else's body, you're still gonna act like yourself. And so this girl is a spunky girl, this ghost is a spunky like person, and so like she's acting different, making the introverted girl like the best person to be around, the most funniest, the one that always wants to be around folks. And for some reason, she ends up falling in love with the ghost ends up falling in love with the introverted girl's boss. And the girl works at a restaurant like thing, and I guess she wants to become a cook, and then she ends up really admiring the boss's work and all that, but she doesn't really like, she's not really like open about it because she's an introvert. But like they end up getting really close, and yeah, just watch the show. Alright, so if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm sorry that I stutter really bad and that I stumble over my words a lot, but like I get nervous. But either way, I'm talking to a camera. What should I be nervous for? But it's one thing that I need to work on. But it's fine, I guess. If you enjoyed it, of course, do like I said, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!